Serious question, guys. Do you want to be rich or do you want to look rich? This is a question that you have to ask yourself if you're serious about saving money. Now, everything in this video that I'm going to share with you are things that I've actually done to save up to £10,000 in the space of 1 year. I've done it in 6 months, I've done it in 4 months, 3 months, and even 2 months. And I'll be sharing videos about that with you soon, so stay tuned for the actual numbers about how that's worked. But just to introduce myself, if you haven't seen me already, my name's Campbell and welcome to the Maximize Your Money channel. Here we talk about how to maximize your money, make money, multiply your money, and manage it. So for all the lovely talk on money, subscribe. And if you really like this video, go ahead, hit that like button because it loves you. We're going to talk about 5 key ways to be able to save your money. And this will work whether you're on a high income or whether you're on a low income. So regardless of the income you're on, take it seriously and you will be able to go away with more money in your pocket. Also, share this video with anybody that you are saving money with at the moment. So whether that be your partner, friends, or family, because it's going to help all of you reach your goals that much faster. Now, the very first point to actually start with, guys, is really just to begin by asking yourselves, do I actually really need to buy this thing? Because a lot of the purchases that are made are done on impulse, and oftentimes they are things that we don't actually need, but are things that we just see and want. So before you go out and decide to actually make a purchasing decision, or when you're in that moment, really stop and ask yourself the question, do I actually need this? If there's a really fancy pair of trainers, ask yourself, do you really need to spend £150 plus for that fancy pair of shoes if you've already got a load that do a really good job? Of course, you don't want to stop yourself from buying things that you enjoy, but like we said at the first part of this video, do you want to look rich or do you want to be rich? We have to cut back those purchases of things that we don't really need. At the end of the day, as long as you've got food, shelter, clothes to wear and the resources to walk towards your goals, then you'll find that you actually don't need to spend extravagantly. So that mindset is part of number 1. Now, the second way is actually a really funny way that I really take advantage of. And that is actually, before we go out and buy anything, actually looking around to see, is there a cheaper alternative and is there a discount available? So I've got a really good example of this. Recently, I bought a course, and the course was something that I was going to get anyway because it would just help me move forward with my goals. And before I actually got the course, I quickly typed in online X name course and then a discount. And actually what I found was that within literally 2 minutes of searching for it, I was able to find $200 off that course. And essentially with the conversion rate to UK pounds, I was able to save 50% off the course within the space of about 2 minutes. So I was, of course, really happy with that, but that's something to do every single time that we're looking for purchasing decisions. Is there a way that we can get it cheaper, i.e. a discount? You know, can we speak with the salespeople over the phone and see if they're able to do something for us to make that thing cheaper if we have to buy it anyway? Or let's just say, for example, that we are in the supermarket. For example, Weetabix is a great example. You see the Weetabix brand, you know, it's X price that you can see right here. But then you've also got like a cheaper alternative to the Weetabix brand. And actually it costs a lot less, as you can see here. And the craziest thing about it is that the ingredients are virtually the same. They are so similar that you can never tell the difference, really. So just really, when it comes to saving money, that is a really good way to be able to do it. Just looking for better alternatives. And that becomes really quite important with things like living situation. Is it possible, rather than going for the most premium luxury apartment to rent out, do you want to just go for somewhere that is going to be a great place for you to stay and it's going to do everything you need it to, you know, provide you a shelter in a nice area, and without having to splurge out extra money every month when you're really trying to save that money to achieve your financial goals? All right, so the third one here relates specifically to how we go about food and spending money on food, because if we're 100% honest, everybody has to pretty much spend money on food, unless you're living with your parents and they kind of sort it all out for you, then that's great, take advantage of that. But you know, if you're having to pay for food yourself, then a really, really key way to be able to save money on food is by meal prepping. So meal prepping is just the idea that you're able to buy like the wholesale ingredients and then literally spend an hour or so preparing those meals for the next couple of days. And that way, whenever you're hungry, instead of having to go out to the shop and buy like £10 per meal, you could actually save a ton of money by having, let's say, 6 meals that average to be like 30p a meal. And it might sound ridiculous, but there are loads of people doing this. It's something I've done for years, and it is a great way to save a lot of money. And previously, I used to spend about £120 a month on food. I thought that was really low until I realized that my girlfriend had told me she spends about £30 a month on food, which absolutely blew my mind because I just couldn't see how that was possible. Anyway, she showed me how she did it. And literally from that, I was able to literally cut my food bill in half. So I was spending now only £60 a month instead of £120 a month. That is £720 a month different. So when you're wondering where your next holiday is going to come from, just think, did you splash out too hard in Tesco or Asda? All right, guys, so we've only got 2 more left to go. Just want to say well done for actually making it through this much of the video so far. You're obviously somebody that cares about your money, so I just want to give you a nice little bonus midway through the video. Of course, as you start going about cutting your expenses, maybe there will be a change in your lifestyle. Maybe, for example, you used to go out with your girlfriend to eat all the time, and now all of a sudden you start making meals from home and don't go out to fancy restaurants as much. At this point, it's really, really important to go ahead, talk to the important people in your life around you about what you're actually doing and the reasons why you're actually doing what you're doing, so that they can support you and understand why you're making the decisions to actually save your money versus spending it. Because a lot of the times people love doing things, spending the money, and it might come as a bit of a shock now that you've had this change in your lifestyle. So this is a really, really important point. Do tell your loved ones exactly what you're doing and tell them why as well. Just be open, just be honest, and I'm sure they'll understand that you just want to be able to save for the goals that you have. All right, guys, so this next way is saving on transport. Obviously, in these times, a lot of us are working from home and doing things online, so maybe there isn't as much travel. But like, for example, in my situation, I actually don't drive. Of course, I could drive, but really I've got nowhere to go. I live really close to the city centre where I used to work. Of course, now everything is from home. So literally I would just cycle in. It would take me about 10 minutes. But really, is there a better way to be able to effectively get to where you need to go without having to spend £400, £500 a month on car payments? Okay, and for our 5th point, I think this is one of the most relevant in our times right now, is go ahead and cut out the unnecessary subscriptions that you subscribe to. It seems like every single company today has a subscription, whether that be YouTube Premium, Amazon Prime, Netflix, you've got Spotify Premium. There are just so many. Actually, I'm really curious. Go ahead and comment what are some of the subscriptions that you actually have right now and how much are you spending each month on subscriptions, because I think it can get quite entertaining. Now, literally those subscriptions, you've got to actually ask yourself, can I justify spending all this money that I want to actually save on Netflix each month? Maybe you've just got subscriptions that you've realized that you've left running and you no longer use them. And just really you want to focus on being able to only spend the money on the things that you actually want. Now, I appreciate some of these ways might be a bit extreme, but at the same time, if you want to save money, which is what this video is all about, you've got to look at actually cutting costs in as many areas as possible. That's the way that it becomes really, really easy to save money. Like we said again, if you saw in the last video how to maximize your money, one of the key ways to do that is to reduce expenses. And that is really one of the biggest ways to be able to save more money. Now, an extra bonus tip here, guys, is that if you haven't already, I really, really recommend that you're able to set aside some money for an emergency fund. Now, the general consensus is, or like what most experts have to say, is that you should have a fund available to you of around £3 6 months worth of expenses just in case anything ever happens. And I think this year is a real great example of why it's more important than ever to have an emergency fund. For example, the worst case scenario happens, you will be able to look after yourselves in those months without having to rely on anybody for your money. So really, if you have no like major goals, for example, to like save for a house or a car or just traveling or whatever it is, the first goal that is really, really key to have is to have that emergency fund. And if you're really ambitious, definitely go for 12 months just to have that nice cushion there, that peace of mind that regardless of what happens in your own life or in the marketplace, that you will be able to look after yourself for a long period of time. So that is it, guys. Those are some of the really key ways for you to save money fast and easily today. If you love this video, then go ahead, hit the notifications bell, because I'm going to be posting 2 videos every single week, as you've seen. And these videos are all going to help with achieving financial goals, whether that be making money, multiplying money, maximizing money. And of course, one of the key things that I'm really excited to share with you is exactly, as I said, the numbers behind some of these that I've actually done to achieve saving up £10,000 each time. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, show me some love. I'm a new channel here, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. See you later, guys.